Hi guys, welcome to PLD craft class. PLD standing for Pretty Little Divas, and today we're making this beautiful brooch. So we're starting with this grosgrain ribbon, which measures about 3.8 centimeters in width. And you're not cutting any particular length yet because it's like an ongoing and continuous process. So heat sealing the edges of the ribbon so we don't have an incidence of your ribbon getting loose or loosening at the end. So basically, to make this brooch is a continuous process of folding, meaning we would be folding several times continuously, folding into triangles mainly. So as you're folding, you want to make sure that the tips are intact and are pointed because tips are very important in making sure we get the exact shape that we want. So it's an ongoing folding process, and at this point I would be using a needle and a thread knotted at one end. I would be using that to secure where we have some tips, where we have the tips of those triangles after folding. So make sure, this is why you should make sure you seal with heat seal that end. If not, your thread would pull out of the edge of your grosgrain ribbon. So basically all we will be doing is folding and making triangles, and once we have a complete tip of our triangle, we would be passing our needle right through the triangle. So that's basically what I would be doing. Now you can see that I have two tips already, just where my left hand is. We have two tips right there. Now we would be making about 13 of these, 13 tips. 13 in the sense that it must be an odd number and not an even pardon me, and not an even number, 13 or 11 or 9 or 15 or 17. It just has to be an even number, and you would be seeing why later, so keep watching. So guys, as you're watching this video, I would like to use this opportunity to ask you to like this video and subscribe to this channel so that you can get notifications when more similar videos are out. So as you can see, I have pinned together one end. One of the challenges of making brooches like this is the fact that we only have two hands, and it might get a bit difficult to hold everything in place while attaching, while passing the needle through, while arranging. It can get a little clumsy. So it would be best to have something like a clip. If you do not have a hair clip, you can use a peg or a craft peg, whichever you have. If you don't have that, you can equally use a head pin and just pin through your folds. So as you can see, I'm struggling a little with some of the triangles, so we just have to, this is why I am introducing our pin. So this needle that is being used here is a beading needle. It's not your regular bead needle. The beading needles are much tinier than the regular needles. All right guys, so I have about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 11 tips now, not up to 13. So we still have to make about two more tips for it to be up to 13. We just have to continuously keep making them until we have 13 tips. Alright guys, so here we have our 13 tips or petals. So after getting those 13, I'm cutting off the extra ribbon. After cutting it off at this end, the next thing would be to use our heat or fire to heat seal. Remember, we're heat sealing to prevent the ribbon loosening at the edges. So try as much as possible to heat seal any open end of your ribbon. After heat sealing, I'm gonna pass this needle, just checking to make sure we have 13, and the next thing would be to close off, you know, the opening right there by sealing, by passing the needle through where we initially passed the needle. So just make that a bit tight, and do that by making a knot. You make a knot by passing your needle through, then forming a loop, and then passing your needle through the loop. So while the first needle and thread are still attached, we're going to use a separate needle and thread this time to sew together the base. So it's gently passing our needle through the thread, through the ribbons, through the base of the ribbons. Now there are lots of folds at the bottom there, so you make sure you pass your needle through all the folds, all the ribbons at the folds. Make sure the needle passes through them. There are instances where you might miss out of the ribbon and pass. There's a way you would see if you're doing this. You need to pass your needle through all the ribbons and not miss any particular surface or sheets of the ribbon. So I'm just going to secure this by tying at the end, forming a loop, then pass your needle through the loop. Going to tie, we're going to secure again. Remember, we're forming a loop, then passing our needle through the loop again. That would help you tighten, and I'm gonna do that one more time. Pass the needle through, form a loop, and then pass our needle through the loop, and then pull, and then we cut off excess needle. You can see the other thread is still very much attached. So now we're gonna count. We had 13 initially, right? So we're going to first of all pick on 2 and then fold them like so. Pull and then fold, using your finger to guide you in this direction. We're going to do that with another petal. Going to pass through. Make sure you adjust the tip of the petal so you don't miss out any sheets of the ribbon, and then pass your needle through like so, and then pull and draw. So this gives it gives us the eye. The brooch is sort of made to look like a butterfly or like sort of like an insect, so this would give you the eyes of the figure we're trying to get. So we have we should count even numbers on both sides. We have 11 left, so we're counting 10 on the left, 10 on the right, and then pushing, using your index finger, pushing in this fashion to get this shape, and adjusting both 5 petals on either side of your brooch. This just gives you like something with wings, gives you the shape of something like an insect with wings, or a bird, or whatever you decide to call it. So we're going to pass our needle through, just because that shape we just created, this shape we just created is not going to stand on its own, so you need to use your brooch, your needle and thread to secure and that's what I'm doing now. Make sure you pass through the middle right there and come out of the middle as well. So this is the point where we get to introduce beads. We're using 6mm pearl beads, and we would be attaching these beads to the brooch just to decorate and give it a more mature, more embellished look. You can use crystal beads if you don't like the pearl beads. Any beads you can, any beads is fine, really. So using glue, we attached these first 2 beads. The next set of beads we would be attaching with needle and beading thread. That thread measured 0.25 millimeters in width. When you go to the market, just ask them of that particular measurement. Alright, so what we're doing is making sure we secure our needle, our thread, first of all, by making a knot before now starting to use our thread fully. So we're going to be picking each bead and attaching it in between. Just open each petal and attach it just right in the middle. Now we're done attaching. We're going to pass our needle back through all the beads attached. This would align them and make them look more uniform, sort of. Plus it would just make your work look a lot neater. Okay, so we're done with making the first side. We're now going to secure our thread on the end, at the end, and the next thing after securing your thread would be to make would be to do the same exact thing on the other side. So cutting off the thread now, the excess thread, we're going to repeat the same exact thing. That's the attachment of the beads. We're going to repeat the same exact thing on the other side. And now that we've done this, the next thing would be attachment of our embellishment. We're using a beaded, sort of a beaded like embellishment. We're just going to attach this right in the middle there, and our work is almost done. In the picture I have a rhinestone line running in the middle of that of the center piece right there, and I unfortunately wasn't able to film that, so but all I did was just to run some glue behind our rhinestone and then just attach right across the middle there. What I'm doing right now is putting together the brooch pin. I'm just going to attach this behind some felt, and then the felt, the pin and the felt is what basically makes this a brooch. So the next thing would be to apply some glue just behind the brooch pin and the felt, and make sure we apply our glue all around, after which we attach behind our brooch piece, making this a brooch pin. So thanks guys for watching this video. Please do like my videos and then subscribe. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel.